On the outskirts of the beautiful mountain town of Manali, there's this place, a place locals absolutely avoid. It's been closed for years, totally shrouded in shadows and some really chilling stories. Today, we're going to dive into the terrifying tale of what happened when three unsuspecting students stumbled upon this abandoned church and the evil that was just waiting for them inside. So, our story kicks off the way a lot of good horror stories do, with an animal sensing something is deeply, deeply wrong. A dog is just barking its head off at this silent, abandoned church. Then, all of a sudden, a shadow emerges. And just like that, silence. The barking stops, the dog is dragged into the darkness, its life snuffed out. This really sets a chilling stage for the human victims who are about to show up. All right, so for a group of college students, a trip to Manali was supposed to be all about having fun, seeing the sights. But for three of them, one single decision to find a little late-night adventure was about to turn their vacation into a desperate, terrifying fight for their lives. So let's meet our guys, Mandeep, Roshan, and Jatin. They're on this college trip, but honestly, they're bored out of their minds. They feel like their professors are treating them like little kids. So fed up with all the rules and the super early curfew, they decide, you know what, we're sneaking out. They're looking for anything more exciting than just staring at their hotel room halls. As they're walking along this totally deserted road, something catches their eye. Through the trees, they see it, this stunning old church. It's beautiful, for sure, but also really eerie. It's obvious that no one has set foot inside that place for a very, very long time. And this right here is the moment where everything changes. Roshan and Jatin, they are thrilled. An old, spooky church in the middle of the night? I mean, come on, it's the perfect adventure. But Mandeep, he gets this really bad feeling. You know that gut feeling when something is just not right? He tries to talk them out of it, saying, hey, let's just come back in the morning. But his friends are way too excited to listen to him. So, in the end, peer pressure wins. Mandeep gives in. He doesn't want to be the guy who ruins all the fun, so he reluctantly agrees. And with absolutely nothing but the flashlights on their phones to see, the three friends push open these heavy doors and step into the suffocating darkness of the church. That initial thrill, of breaking the rules and exploring a forbidden place, yeah, that disappears really, really fast. It's replaced by this cold, creeping dread. The adventure they were looking for has definitely found them, and it has absolutely no intention of letting them go. The second they step inside, the neglect is just overwhelming. You can just imagine it, right? The air is stale, so thick with dust that it's dancing in their little flashlight beams. And there are these thick cobwebs just draped over everything like old funeral shrouds. As they move a little deeper, they disturb a colony of bats, which just explodes into the air and flies out into the night. So Mandeep's earlier bad feeling? It's now full-blown fear. He turns to his friends and says, guys, the vibe here is just, it doesn't feel right. Let's go. He turns to leave, but as he takes a step, his foot gets tangled in something, and he yells out. Turns out it was just a rope, but that little incident really rattles him. And just as they finally decide to listen to Mandeep and leave, bam! A deafening boom echoes through the whole church. The massive wooden doors they just came through slam shut with this impossible force, plunging them into almost total darkness and sealing them inside. Pure panic sets in. They rush to the doors, they're pushing, they're pulling, but they won't budge. They're locked. And that's when the terrifying realization hits them. They are not alone in here. So, who locked them in? Trapped and completely terrified, the friends have no choice but to face whatever it was that locked them in. And they're about to discover the true nature of this ancient evil that lives within these walls, an entity that has been waiting very, very patiently for some new souls to torment. So as they're desperately looking for another way out, Jatin turns around and his blood just runs cold. There, standing in the middle of the aisle, is a figure. It's a nun. But her eyes are huge, and they're glowing with this evil red light, just staring right through them. Before they can even scream, the nun just dissolves into a cloud of black smoke. Mandeep and Roshan are frantically looking around, like, where did she go? But then they hear this gurgling sound. They turn to see Jatin on the floor, convulsing, his body twisting in these unnatural ways as the evil spirit forces its way inside of him. The transformation is what's truly horrific. The entity doesn't just possess Jatin, it completely remakes his body.
His eyes turn that same blood red as the nun's. His skin turns this deathly pale, and it looks like it's burnt, peeling away from his flesh. He's not their friend anymore. He's this grotesque puppet for the evil nun.
Completely horrified, Mandeep just starts begging the creature that's now wearing his friend's face. "What have we ever done to you? Please, just let our friend go. Let us leave." But all his pleas are met with is this sickening, twisted smile.
With one friend possessed and the other in mortal danger, Mandeep realizes that begging is useless. If they are going to survive this, he has to fight. But how in the world do you fight a demon?
This thing that was Jotun scuttles across the floor like an insect and just lunges at Roshan, pinning him down. Its long, sharp nails dig into Roshan's neck, and blood starts to well up. Then, to their absolute horror, the creature extends this long tongue and starts licking the blood from the wounds as Roshan is struggling just to breathe. But in this moment of just pure terror, Roshan shows incredible bravery. As he's being choked, he manages to yell out to Mandeep, "Run! You have the sacred power of the Gurdwara. It can't hurt you. Get out of here." He's telling Mandeep to save himself. And hearing Roshan's words, something just sparks in Mandeep. He remembers his faith. He pulls off his steel kara, that's a sacred Sikh bracelet. He takes out his kirpan, a small ceremonial dagger. And while chanting the powerful Sikh prayer, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh, he charges. He forces the holy kara onto the possessed creature's hand, which sizzles on contact, and then he plunges the kirpan deep into its chest. Mandeep's act of faith-fueled courage triggers a supernatural event far beyond anything he could understand. The battle is over, but believe it or not, the strangest part of the night is just getting started.
The possessed body lets out this unholy shriek and collapses. A thick, black ooze just pours from the wound. And at that exact moment, the entire church, which had been dark for decades, miraculously lights up. And then, get this, a priest appears, seemingly from nowhere, and begins performing last rites over the nun's body. As he prays, her spirit is cleansed, rising up and peacefully merging with a statue of Jesus. The priest turns to Mandeep and explains that his courage has freed a soul that was trapped for years. He assures Mandeep that his friends will be fine, but he says, by tomorrow morning, they won't remember any of this. He explains that the trauma is just too great, and their minds will be wiped clean of the night's horrors. So Mandeep gets his friends back to the hotel. The next morning, just like the priest promised, Jotun and Roshan remember nothing at all. Out of this morbid curiosity, Mandeep leads them back to the same deserted road from the night before. But the church is gone. There's no building, no ruins, absolutely nothing. It has completely vanished. And so we're left with this really lingering mystery. Did the church exist only for Mandeep to fulfill some kind of spiritual destiny? Was it a ghostly apparition that just appeared for one night to allow a tortured soul to finally find peace? We're left with the chilling question, was the church ever really there at all?